looking at the Q&A database management system. We went over Q&A records. We went over the delete button last time. We're going to look at the add records button this time. Just as a quick refresher, this system consists of two files, zfrontend.py and zbackend.py, ZFE and ZBE. So let's take a look at ZFE, look at the code behind it. And there it is. In the ZFE file, I scooch on down to the buttons section here, and I find the button that says add records. I call the button function. I tell them to put the button into the root window. Text on it should say add records. The width on the button should be 10 units and the height 5 units. The command to execute when you click on this button is add under command. Assign all of that to B3. Then I tell B3 to put itself into the grid at row 2 and column 0. Let's move up in the code of this program and take a look at the add under command function that gets executed anytime you click on this button. Let's go take a look at the add under command function now. If you take a look at this code here, you'll see E1 and you'll also see E2. Those are the two structures we'll be dealing with in our program. Here's our program, and this structure here is called E1, and this structure here is called E2. This structure down here is called listbox1. Let's take a look at these text boxes here. If you examine the contents of E1 and it's empty, then it's going to have one character in it, and that's going to be a \n. That indicates that this guy is empty. That is just a truism for this text box. If it's empty, it's got a \n in it only. Now back we go to the code. First, E1 is told to get everything out of itself, from the beginning to the end. Grab everything. Compare that to the \n character. Are they the same? In this case, it would be the same. The only thing that's inside of this text box right now would be a \n character. So, are they the same? Yes, they are, in this instance. That's a true. Now, I not the true. That makes this a false. That means all of this code will not get executed now. And the reasoning behind that is we can have no empty records in the database table. So if this guy is empty, do not add him into your database table. But if there is data inside of there, then this will be false, and it will be knotted from false to a true. And then this code does get executed. Well, what does this code do? Well, the first thing that it does is it executes the add rec function that's in the ZBE file and hands it these 1, 2 items. E1, get everything from the beginning to the end out of yourself. So let's say the name George was here, so it would grab George. And let's say bool was here. Yeah. So E1, get everything from the beginning to the end, so it grabs George and grabs hold of it. And E2, get everything out of yourself from the beginning to the end. It grabs a bool and grabs hold of that. And then it passes those two items to the add rec function that's in the ZBE file. Well, let's go there and find out what add rec actually does. Now we're in the ZBE.py file, and here is the add rec function. Now notice it has these two variables here, MQ1 and MA1, that's question 1 and answer 1, that will contain the past data, which in our case, George got passed to MQ1, and bool gets passed to MA1. Alright, first thing that happens is we tell SQLite 3 to connect to the questions database, and we assign all of that to con. Next, we tell con to create the cursor. That's the area in memory where all of your records are placed whenever you do a query. And the system puts its data in there. It's a temporary storage area. Assign control and management of all of that to the variable cur. The next thing we do is I strip off of the right end of MQ1 any blank spaces, and I assign that back to MQ1. Then I strip off the right-hand side of MA1 of any blank spaces, and I assign that back to MA1. Next, I tell the variable cur to execute the following command. Insert into the Q table, into the table called Q, into the Q table, which is in the questions database, the following values. Null, which is for the primary key, and then this placeholder and this placeholder. MQ1 will put itself right into the first one, and MA1, which is in the second position, will put itself right here into the second placeholder, just like that. So insert into the Q table the following values. Nothing, the primary key, that system will take care of that, and then George Boole. And he does it. It's done now. Then we tell con to commit that. That means write it to the database table on the disk. Then we tell con to close the connection, and that's it. Now we return to the line following the point of departure in our previous program, which was zfe.py. Let's go there now. Here we are in zfe.py. We just finished the execution of this line of code. The next line is here, comment, comment, and then we execute the clear it command, which clears out the two boxes on our program E1 and E2. So if there's any data in there, it gets cleared out. And then we execute the view command, which goes into the database table, grabs all of our records, and then populates our list box with all of those records. That's list box 1. Now the system executes the view command, which will populate the list box with all the records. But just before it does the clear it command. Well, what is the clear it command? We haven't done this. We didn't do this. We did this before. Let's go take a look at the clear it command and see what it does. Well, here's the clear it command, clear it under command, and it has 2 lines of code in it. We tell E1, that's this guy here, to delete everything from the beginning to the end of its structure. So E1 comes along and clears out anything inside that box. E2, do the same, delete everything from the beginning to the end. So it comes over here. Any data inside of this box is wiped out. That's what the clear it command does. So let's actually test out our add record button. I'm going to add a record into this database table, and then I'll delete it. 2 raised to the 5th power equals what? And of course the answer is 32. And let's see. Let's add that record in. And done. And it cleared off my E1 and E2 structures. Let's go down to the bottom of the database table and see if it is there. And lo and behold, there it is. In this case, it's my 13th record. 2 to the 5th equals 32. And whenever I highlight that, the GDR under command goes and places that into the E1 and E2 text boxes. And there it is. This is George Boole. If you find this useful and practical, please click on the like button, and I'll see you in the next lesson. Bye-bye now.